we do any of that, following the sad news about the death of her husband, Derek Draper, Kate Garraway has urged people to hug their loved ones close. This is in a new message delivered by her colleague and friend, Susanna Reid, on Good Morning Britain earlier today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for all the wonderful messages that you have sent me. It really does mean so much to me, Darcy, Billy and all of Derek's family. They are an extraordinary comfort, and I am so lucky to feel connected to you all through these messages at this time when the raw pain of grief can be so isolating. I am certain that it is the support that you have given me and sent to Derek that has sustained us through these tough nearly 4 years, motivating us to fight on for each other and for those that can't fight for themselves. And it will sustain us to continue that fight in the weeks and months and years to come.
Well, very powerful, very poignant words from Kate there. And, of course, we all send our condolences and our love to Kate and the children and all Derek's family and friends. It got us talking this morning, saying when you are in the very early throes of grief, when you've just lost somebody, it's a very surreal time. You know, you feel removed from the real world. It feels like the world has stopped, Brenda, we know, and, you know, your loss with your son, my loss with my sister. And I think sometimes your friends and family don't always know how to help. People are to think, should I rush round? Should I just phone? Shall I send a message? It's almost like people are nervous of how to help. They want to help you, they want to support. I mean, my friends actually just turned up, my 3 close girlfriends. That's because Eamon had called them because he was away. And he said, you know, Ruth's sister's passed away, and please, can you get round there? So there they suddenly were, and it was wonderful. I don't know what I'd have done if they'd have called me, because I might have been in that, I'm fine, it's OK, because sometimes you're so shocked and traumatised that you don't feel like you're living in the real world. Yeah. How did you feel when people were, well, you know, we were all texting and messaging?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, I didn't want to speak to anybody, I didn't want to see anybody, I didn't want to talk about it. And that was my first reaction. And it's still my reaction, actually, to be fair. If I get a lot of people doing that face and I'm like, please don't, just don't. And I don't want to hug, because if I'm hugged, then I just get emotional. I know it's nothing, I know it's something I'm never going to ever get over. Yeah. Absolutely not. And I know that because of my mum and my dad, and 50 years later, I'm still crying over them. You know, when it first happened with Jamal, Colleen was phoning me, she's like, I'm coming around, I'm like, nah, you're not. And for a while I was like, nobody doesn't know where I live, so that's all right, I'm OK. But then my doorbell went and people were just turning up. My phone, I didn't think all these people had my number, and I had, like, over 14,000 messages. And I'm still trying to get through those messages.
Kate has said there that she appreciates the messages. I'm sure she won't have time to get round to everyone who sent them, but she's saying that she feels supported in that people are thinking about her. You know, did you feel that even though you haven't got time to deal with them?
It's beautifully overwhelming and lovely, and I want to get back to everybody, because that was another thing of Jamal's. Mummy, respond to everybody, even if it's just to say a heart or just a like, something, because you never know how that feels with that person. And I'm really, really appreciative of all the support that I got. It's like almost 2 years, and like I say, unless somebody sends me another message, then that message that they sent back in 2022 doesn't flag up, because there were so many messages. And then I say, I'm really sorry it's taken so long.
No, I don't think they do. And also, I think the thing with grief is that no 2 people grieve the same. Grief is so different for everybody. So some people, when they lose someone, you know, when my sister lost her husband, she didn't want to be on her own. She needed to be surrounded by family and friends. You know, I remember phoning you and saying, I'm going to get in the car, I'll be 3 hours, but I'm coming down. And you said, no, don't, I'm fine. And I think you have to go off what the person is telling you. If they don't, I'm sure if she'd have needed me at that moment, she'd have been getting your car now. But you have that guilt then of, is she saying that because she doesn't want me to drive? You know, it's a really complicated thing. And I think the thing as well is just make sure that you're listening to the person. who's actually going through the grief, because you might go, well, I'm worried because I wouldn't grieve like that. Well, no, you probably wouldn't, because none of us, like I said,
I
grieve
remember
the
somebody
same.
did question how quickly I came back to work after
people
my sister
always
died.
do
People
that.
always do that.
It's like, why would you even question that? This is just, I needed that. I needed to
Absolutely.
get out and, you know,
Normality.
and get back to some normality, because I think we've said on here before, I thought if I stop and cry, I'll never stop.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Won't
it's
get back.
people can be
But
very
that's where friends are
judgmental.
good as well, aren't
Yeah,
they?
and I think as well, people are really there at the start, and then I think life does return back to normal, and you might return back to work and stuff like that, and then, you know, not on purpose, but life goes back, and we all kind of move on, and we forget that you're still grieving maybe a year, 2 years, you know, you still haven't been able to read those messages, and I think it's remembering to check in sometimes. You don't even have to mention it, but just to know that you're still there and you're still listening
I think
and
that's
willing
a very
to be
good
there
point,
for someone.
actually. So I think once, you know, funerals are over and, like you said,
Everyone goes
everyone
back.
else is... Because they have to.
But
that's
your
what
life is still
happens.
standing still.
But it's
almost.
just, yeah, it's just making sure that you check in on people, I suppose. isn't it?
Definitely. And also having that thing, because I know, you know, Linda, and when my sister Bernie passed away, and when Linda's then husband passed away, you know, people, because they don't know what to say, so they'll cross the street. As you're coming down, they'll cross over because it's like, I don't know what to say. You don't sometimes have to say anything other than a hand or a little moment of, I'm thinking of you. You know, it's not you have to give this big speech that's going to make everything better,
But you
because
don't
nothing
know, like
will.
Brenda said, you know, I gave you a hug, but you don't know that sometimes that can make me cry, because it's
I
the
just say to
kindness.
people, make me laugh or be horrible to me, like Colleen,
Colleen,
you know,
yeah.
she's perfect.
When someone's crying, I generally
the
don't
perfect
hug them
one.
because of that. Because
Yeah.
you're like, it might,
I'm not like
it won't.
today.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, it won't stop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it depends what. If you're at work, I wouldn't hug you, but if you were home on your own, I'd give you a big hug.
Yeah, you were the only one who didn't hug me, actually,
Yeah,
Frankie.
because I
Thanks
didn't want
very
you to cry.
I didn't hug you
No,
today.
she didn't hug. I did.
No,
Yeah,
she did.
yeah.
Only because I
Yeah.
was sitting next to you.
It's true.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered getting off the couch. He knows I'm there
Listen,
for her.
we all need our friends at very difficult times in our life. And as I said, you know, our condolences to Kate and Darcy and Billy and all Derek's family and friends. Very, very difficult time for them. And if it's having an effect on you, or you're having a difficult time yourself with loss, there is help available with anything that we've just talked about. Go to our website, itv.com/helplines, and you'll find more information there.